Hello everybody and welcome to day 9 of your 28-day challenge with the balance base. I hope you've been enjoying all your classes so far. You've made it through nearly every single class that I've probably ever taught, unless you were lucky enough to enjoy when we had an aerial yoga studio as well. So today is Pilates. We are doing a beginner's class today. And as part of our beginner's class in this session, we're going to work on our glutes. So I know all of you love working your glutes. They generally tend to get a little bit sore. So come and lay on your mat on the side of your body for me. And let's get started. So how I want you to set yourself up here. If you lay on your left side, you're going to take your left arm out long. You're going to stack your hips. You're going to bring your heels and your toes to touch. Now you're going to have your hips stacked, your shoulders stacked, and your feet in line with those 2 points, so that your whole body is lined up on the back of the mat here. Now think about your neutral pelvis. Even though you're laying on the side, you obviously still want to have that connection through the body. If your pelvis is neutral, your hips will also be stacked on top of one another, as opposed to one being back and one being forward. Your heels and toes will be touching, so your knees should be connected at the same spot as well. You can rest your top hand either on your hip or in front of you if you feel you need support. Just careful when resting it on the hip that you don't end up wearing your shoulder as an earring here, so push it away from you. Think nice and lifted underneath here as well. So despite the fact we're laying on our side, we're not completely flat on the mat. We've got that slight little lift off. And that is also how you stack the hips as well. So if you're completely touched on the bottom side, this hip will come a little closer. It won't be stacked on the body. So we're going to start with 8 today. So the heels and toes are going to stay glued together. The top knee is going to lift, but not where you open the hips up. So I don't want your hip to roll backwards. I want it to stay stacked where it is. So you're only going to lift it as high as you can maintain those hips on top of one another. Inhale to bring it back down. Exhale to lift. Inhale to lower. 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 So we start them off relatively slow. As you get better at these, you can probably do them a little faster. One more here. And then rise the heels in the air. Same thing, don't unstack these hips. Do 8 here. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. 2 more. Last one. And then remember that keeping of the stacked position open, and then send the foot out away from you. Bring the foot back together and then close the knee back down. 8 here, so 2. Bring it back in, close it back down. The thing you most want to be aware of here is that knee stays exactly where it is. The leg just extends it out, touches back down, and then closes back off. So you don't want to let the knee kick out behind you, move its position. You want to try and keep it there as much as you possibly can. If it feels a little bit tricky, 3 more here. 2 more here. Last one here. And then bring your knees directly out in front of the hips, and then sit your bottom back like you're sitting in a chair. So still have those hips stacked and still have that little lift. It might not feel like it's there as much, but if the hips are stacked, you won't be laying on that inner side. So heels and toes together, top knee lifts here. So using the smaller of your glute muscles now. So this might be a little higher to lift, harder to lift the leg a bit higher. Still think about the shoulder dropping away as well. 2 more here. Last one here. And then lift the whole leg and back down. So try and lift the foot and the knee at the same height. So try not to do this or do that with the foot. Try and think they both lift away from that bottom leg at the same time. stick your bottom out a little bit more if you feel your position moving slightly. And just 2 more here. The last one here. And then leave it at hip distance apart. Start to circle. Now only circle from the hip socket, so that means that leg still stays exactly the same shape. We're not kicking at the knee and we're not twisting at the foot. And then reverse those 8 circles the other way. Last one. And then for good measure, tap your bottom out. It's probably a little bit twingy. And you want to roll yourself on the other side so you can do exactly the same thing. Can't have one good bum cheek and then one lazy bum cheek. You will thank me later. So, rest your arm out long, rest your head along it. Knees bent, but heels and toes in line with the back of the mat. So that your hips are stacked, your shoulders are stacked. And then those heels and toes are lined up with the back portion of the mat here. Knees are forward. So remember that little lift underneath once again. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. You're 8 on this side as well. Two more. Last one. So same again, slightly different angle. With the heels raised. Gets a little deeper, uses a bit more rotation normally as well. So you probably feel you can be a little bit more externally rotated in this position here. Don't forget about that shoulder at the top, drop it away from you. 2 more here. Last one here. And then we're going to extend that foot out. Bring it back, close the whole leg down. Exhale, lift. Inhale, extend out, bring back and close down. Really think about that knee staying exactly where it is. Just 2 more here. And the last one here. And then move those knees directly out from your hips. Bring the feet in front line of the mat this time. Stick your bottom out again like you're in a chair. So still a little gap underneath you. Press that top hip away to maintain that position. Heels and toes are touching. Exhale, lift here. Inhale, bring it back down. Exhale, lift. Inhale, bring it back down. So using the smaller of the glute muscles maybe feels a little harder. Maybe not quite as much external rotation here. Maybe it feels like we can't quite get it all the way up. That's fine as long as you're not compromising the rest of the body in terms of the hips being stacked and that lift in the underneath the blade. So 2 more here. Last one here. And then lift that leg. Try and lift it at the same time as we lift the foot as well. Try and tap it back down with the knee and the toes touching. 4, 5. So I know we're doing it nice and slow today. We always do every class nice and slow. Some of our more beginner workouts, obviously a little bit slower so you get the gist of it. May have given you an extra one there, so keep the legs at hip width distance apart. 8 circles here. Remember, no kicking of the knee or twisting of the foot. And then reverse your circles the other way. 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Tap it out. Tap, 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 tap. Very good. Come onto your back for me. Just a little bit of ab work to go along with our glutes as well, just to make ourselves feel connected to our core if we weren't feeling it already from the placement of our back whilst we were doing, or the placement of our obliques, I should say, whilst we were doing that. So bring your knees directly above your hips if you can. If you need a modification, keep your feet down. Take a breath here. Inhale, lift up. And then just tap one toe, bring it back up to neutral. Tap, bring the knee back to stack. And then lower yourself down. Exhale, reach. Inhale, tap the toe. And back. Tap the toe. And back. And then come back down. Exhale, reach up. Tap. And tap. And then back down one more here. Exhale, reach. Tap. And tap. And then lower back down here. Reach the arms as long as you can. Bring the knee out to the side. Inhale, drop back to the center. So if you have got your feet on the ground, take it out nice and slow. Don't let this leg move with it. So find what works for you. Other side, inhale, reach up. Exhale. So try not to rock side to side. So you can see now while we switch the abdominals a little bit on first, so we remember to engage them whilst we're here. Inhale, take it up. Exhale. Inhale, take it out. Exhale, draw it back in. Inhale, take it out. Exhale, draw it back in. One more each side. Last one. And then take the legs long, bring the right one all the way down to the ground. Now if you feel like you don't quite have the flexibility for this, bend the bottom knee, keep the top leg long. So your choice either bent or straight. So do little circles, point the toes. So little circles, 8 circles in one direction. Nice long straight legs. So try to straighten that hamstring as much as you can. And then reverse. Another thing, if you have a TheraBand, you can also use that to help you if you feel like the leg's a little bit tired, not going as straight as you would like. And then swap it over. So remember, the underneath leg can be bent if you need, otherwise nice and straight. Point the toes, 8 circles in one direction. And then 8 circles in the other direction. Try and keep the rest of the body nice and still. And then take the legs back down. Inhale, take a nice big breath. Reach the arms up and head over as far as you can. Reach, reach, reach. Feel a nice big stretch. Lift the legs individually. Try and reach them a little further. Try and reach the shoulders away from you. Inhale, one big breath here. And exhale, very slowly try and roll yourself all the way up. If you get stuck, you can bend the knees and walk the hands along the legs. Otherwise, take a breath. Roll up individually as much as you can. Flex the toes, try and reach for the nice stretch there. Lengthen the spine. 2 more breaths here. Try and lower a little closer to your legs. 1 more breath. And well done for joining me for your beginners Pilates exercises this morning. See you next time.